All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Superspeedway Xfinity Series here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. Qualifying has just begun here, so drivers getting their qualifying laps in to see where they're going to kick off tonight. And again, looks like another solid field, probably about a solid upper 30s, maybe even 40 plus drivers here tonight. So I'll say while we go over the race info, they'll be making their laps. So as always, though, 75 laps is the race distance. Fuel mileage should be just over the 25 lap mark, so making this most likely a 2 pit stop race. Of course, drivers all have one fast repair available for their use should they need it. And then, of course, we, as always, 3 attempts of that green-white checkered finish. Hence, again, the name of the channel here with Green White Checkered TV. So say drivers making their laps right now. So while we have that, we'll pull up our standings for tonight's series. Going into tonight's race, it's Jay Hilliard with a 10-point lead over Brian Grimm. Let's say obviously Jay getting the win to kick off the season puts him to the top of the board. And then you see William George, a good run last week, jumps him up to 3rd position, tied with Todd Siebels. And Sebastian Marin, his win last week, Sebastian Marin, his win last week jumps him up into the 5th position. Right now, 14 points out of the lead. And you see Michael Pegg, Quabi Brooks, Keith Horner Jr., TJ Allen, a huge jump all the way up to the 9th position. And then Joseph Morales in the top 10 there. So right now, currently, that is our top 10. Again, 12-race season. However, those final 4 races will be the playoff race for the top 8 drivers. So right now, the cutoff spot sitting on Keith Horner Jr.'s shoulders. Obviously, like I said, a lot of racing to go, a lot of bonus points available for these drivers week in and week out. And you can also look at the bonus points on the side there in the green column. You see Jay Hilliard with the 10. I'm looking down the order. It looks like the next one with the most amounts, actually a fair bit down there. And that's JD Crow. Hasn't had the start to the season he's wanted, but has been collecting bonus points. And like I said, those are going to be very, very beneficial. So we'll have to see how that pans out here over the course of the season as well. So right now, like I said, driver's still putting down some lap times right now. And as always, let's say Daytona, Talladega, these lap times are always going to be super close in qualifying, and saying it's definitely showing once again. Looks like we got just our top 3 separated by about 0.02 of a second, with I see a lot more cars out on track right now still putting these laps in. So we'll see if maybe some late climbers here in the final laps of this practice or qualifying. So we'll see how it all shakes out. So I think probably everybody's got about their lefts and rights out of their system for those that participated in that 24 hours of Daytona. So do need to do I'm definitely going to give an early shout out here and congratulations to JD Crow and his team winning their split of the 24 hours of Daytona. So that number 5 car helping with his team getting the win. I believe he had some help. I'm trying to remember the whole team there. I believe it included Kevin Freeze. And then, I'm trying to remember the Brian Wang was another one. I believe there was a 4th. I apologize for the 4th driver, but yeah, definitely shout out to those guys. Very difficult race. I was in it myself with Matt Wagner and my brother, and then also Eric Schaus, who runs the Tuesday Indy Series, and we made it to the end. But other than that, it was definitely a rough one for us. Alright, so qualifying just about completed here. Looks like about 20 seconds left. I believe everybody has put in their laps and they are going to be where they are. So we'll give it just a few more seconds and we'll click on over into that qualifying order. But right now, looks like we're going to have some regular drivers up towards the front that we're very used to seeing week in and week out. Alright, so it's going to pull up our qualifying order for tonight. This is our starting grid. As you can see, it is Michael Pegg on pole position by 0.05 of a second over Sebastian Marin. Then you got JD Crow in 3rd, Vicente Guerrero 4th, Jackson Carr rounding out our top 5. And then in 6th, you got Everett Lane, 7th, Cody Nagels, BK Anderson in 8th, Patrick Gruber, and then Eric Laurie. And this is probably one of the first races in a while, but somehow Patrick Seth Gruber, they do not start right next to one another here. But it's going from 9th to 11th, so not a big gap there. Those two work well together. It looks like they've got pretty much the same abilities on the qualifying run as well. Then you got Derek Gilray in the 12th spot. Let's keep on going. We got a lot of drivers here. You got Quabi Brooks 13th, Les Levy 14th, Don Stewart, Randy Miner, Michael Spell, Jack Walls, Jay Hilliard, again, our initial race winner, or our inaugural race winner of the season. David Overstreet, Nick Monfretti, Brian Grimm, Keith Horner, Alberto Lopez in 24th. But we still got more to go here. Then 25th, you got Kevin LaChance, Chummy Miller, TJ Mashaw, Gaetano Papalardo, Gabe Butler, Joseph Morales, Zach Fritch, TJ Allen, Robert Rock, Jim Brooks, Bob Fitzgerald, Dustin Lamb. And now we're getting to the final, the bottom end of it. And so again, these drivers not putting down qualifying laps though. James Hickson, Robert DuPont, Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson, and Michael Taylor will be our 41 drivers taking part in tonight's event. So the other thing to mention, of course, the potential of green flag pit stops. We saw it before, and we might see it again. And with a car count like this, again, 40 drivers here taking the grid, it looks like. I say I always add, say just by mistake, I say Gabe Butler is in the race, but he's our in-race admin, so he's kind of just running the shots if things happen. However, cautions are thrown by iRacing. If there's something like an apparent, or I should say, a very obvious incident that should be a caution and iRacing doesn't catch it, then the admins will step in and throw one. That's why Gabe Butler is in the server helping everybody out. So definitely a big thanks to him for his time and effort to make this series what it is. I think that's why we have these 40 drivers taking part tonight. So yeah, so what I was saying though, pit stalls, that's going to be, I think, extremely important here because, again, the drivers we're going to have to watch there are going to be Michael Taylor, Dean Wilkinson, Todd Siebels, Robert DuPont. They have the very first pit stalls on the entry, which means if we do get a green flag stop, they're going to need to lower those cars down even sooner than the ones up in front. They can get it a little easier down to 55. They're going to have to be ready to pretty much be at a stop at their pit stall. So, yeah, drivers are going to have to definitely be on their toes there. But as always, I'll say first they got to get there. And again, pit window probably going to be in the 25 to, let's say, 27 lap range maybe. So we'll see what these drivers will have in store for us. So again, thank you all so much for watching, for supporting us here at Green White Checkered TV. And of course, all the associate sponsors. Of course, we got the TJ Chummy Esports on board. Let's say we've got Levy Designs as well. Reminder to check out his Facebook page, any paints, designs you're looking for. And then lmcgear.com as well. So Jim Herrick, a great supporter of the league and the series. So we want to definitely give a shout out to those guys. Thank them for everything they've been doing. It's their help, their sponsorship that's been a lot of these things that allow these races to go on and allow me to broadcast them. So yeah, so thank you all so much for everything you guys have been doing for the league here. Alright, with that, let's say pace car just now starting to roll out of turn number 4, and then we'll make that sharp left-hand turn into pit lane, and the drivers will work their way through the trial to get that initial green flag. Of course, initial start is on the green, so don't expect to see anybody jump early here. So there's still going to be a little more before they get to that point. However, it's going to go into the hands of that 777 of Michael Pegg, Sebastian Marin to his outside. Then you got JD Crow, Vicente Guerrero in row 2. So as they come through the start-finish line here, or through trial, I should say, get into that start-finish line. Just one more moment. The green flag is down and away, and we are underway here. 75 laps is our scheduled distance as we go green flag here for the first time at Talladega. So far so good as they come through to complete lap number 1. Right now Michael Pegg has the lead, and it looks like he will successfully lead that lap from the pole position, so give another bonus point to that number 777 of Michael Pegg. So of course, as we talked about, I'll say it's still early to talk about it, but as always, every bonus point matters, and I say that's definitely what Michael wants to see there to get things started there in that number 777. On his outside though, Sebastian Marin, he's always one that you cannot count out. And here comes that big push out on the outside line. This one from Vicente Guerrero. And you can see he's got alongside him just a nose ahead, but right now not enough to clear as they head into turn number 3. So we'll see where the momentum shift happens here out of 4. If it's enough to put that 23 to the front, or if it's going to be Michael Pegg leading another lap. And of course, the next question will be, when do we see that third line start to form? Because it's, again, this is Talladega. It's a whole different animal than Daytona. So we'll definitely see some more 3-wide racing, I think, here as usual this week. Right now, say things still staying pretty calm and collected here up front. I say looking a little further back, it looks like the first real gap here, if you will, is with TJ Mashaw in that 33 car, giving just a little bit of room to these guys in front. However, as I was watching him, I saw the movement happen, and who else would it be but those twin brothers of Patrick and Seth Gruber? They found each other. They're immediately jumping to the top line, but Everett Lane said, "Hey, I like that idea too. Here, let me jump up with you guys. Let's see if we can make something happen." Saying so, he's going to try to be that one to lead that third lane. We'll see what they can make happen here as they go back into turn number 1 here to start lap number 4. See on the left side, they're working their way around BK Anderson. Now they pretty much are sitting 3x3 here as they go down the back stretch. So right now, I say it's pretty much anybody's guess right now for the lead of this next lap, but those are 3 strong cars on the outside line led by Everett Lane, and then like I mentioned, the 01 Patrick Gruber, 02 Seth Gruber, and right now, like I said, these guys are going after it. It's like right there at a 4, just for a moment there, it was the 24 that had the lead, but he's going to actually continue to hold that lead, and it's going to be Everett Lane who's going to lead this lap. But is it enough? Can he clear to get to that middle lane? He can. He's going to sneak in front of that number 23. Sebastian Marin take control of that middle lane there. Not enough to make that drop to the inside line around JD Crow. And say while we're watching all the other stuff going on, did miss a pass for position with JD Crow getting around Michael Pegg. So swap those two around on the inside row there. You see a little further back, the team driver starting to peek out as well. I saw Les Levy in the 62. He's decided to join the mix as well. As I see one of those TJ Chummy Esports driver working his way up there as well. I believe that actually may be the 10 car. Yeah, it's the 10 of Alberto Lopez. He's working at third lane, bringing the 68 of David Overstreet along with him. So we're about to have pretty much 3x3 for probably about 5 rows deep. 6 soon in here, even it looks like if Keith Horner gets his way up there, which Keith definitely not one to shy away from that third lane as well. So yeah, so right now definitely getting a little bit busy here up towards the front. I think that's been that's caught the attention of a few drivers, including that 33 of TJ Mashaw. As you see, like we talked about him just kind of cruising that single file line here a little further back there. Pretty much exactly where I'd be running there in that 33 myself. So we'll see if it, yep, it is. We got a contact. Oh, we got cars. Yep, big one here. A bunch of cars here around off of turn number 4. We got one up and over. That's the 32 here. The 46 is in it. The 83 was in it. It's going to be another one of those situations. Who was not in this incident? Oh, we got, yeah, BK Anderson just unfortunately stuck on his lid, and he's going to have to take a tow. And it looks like I see the 23 involved there as well, so may have kicked off right around one of our leaders there. So we'll have to go back and take a look. We still got a couple cars stopped on the front stretch here, including Nick Monfretti. Looks like he and the 12 are trying to get situated. Who's going to let who by here? It's one of those after you deals. Now they get it squared away, and they're going to get rolling back once more. So let's go back here. I'll say while we're watching the field get back settled in, it looks like about the top 5 or 6 definitely got through unscathed. But let's try to see if we can catch where exactly this all kicked off. And so I heard you chiming in the background, Matt, so just bringing you back in here as well. Say Matt Wagner in the booth now with me as well. Welcome, Matt. Appreciate you hopping on. So I know you were working hard with the Indy cars, getting stuff squared away over there. So let me do some hunting.
I feel safer up here.
Yeah, I definitely feel safer. Oh, yeah, actually, you can see already there happening. So let's back it up a little more. So it looks like it was... Oh, you know what? Sebastian Marin, he actually overheats and blows the motor in that 23 car. And I believe that's actually what starts this whole ordeal here. So we'll watch that 23 car and watch for the smoke here. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about right here. See the momentum loss? There's the puff of smoke. And just, wow, that's a rare occurrence here where we haven't seen too many cars blow their motors, especially someone like Sebastian Marin. But look at the gaggle that happens behind. Look at the 97, a great avoidance by Jackson Carr, just sneaking by there. Cody Nagels in the 06 looks like he might get away with that. I'm still watching him kind of drift through. The Quabi Brooks looks like he may have got a little piece as well in that 53 car. So we'll kind of try to take a look here as we jump around the field here.
Yeah, you were 100% right. I just went on board with Sebastian Marin. Yeah, he blew that motor all right.
Yeah, motor pops. It looks like Quabi had some inside wall contact there. But again, in behind, I mean, at this point, it's going to be, and again, a smaller count of who was not in the wreck than who was in it. But I do want to do is I want to jump back a little bit, though. I want to watch from that 06 machine, though, because Cody Nagels, I think, probably had one of these saves of the race right here. So let's jump it back here. We're going to go on board, and we'll go full speed here, and we're going to listen in. Actually, as I do that, I went way too early there. Jump the gun there. Let's back it up one more time. Let's listen in here. Yeah, that was quick hands for Cody Nagels, able to keep that car together and in one piece. So great job by him. We'll jump back live here. So pretty much the field, looks like the field all went ahead and pitted except for the 60 of Joseph Morales, which is going to promote him to the lead here, Matt. So that's going to put a new leader out front here. But we've seen before, Matt, pit strategy, sometimes if you wait a little or if you stay out here too long compared to the other drivers, you may have to pit by yourself, and that could put you in a very, very dire position later on once it comes pit stop time if we don't get a yellow.
Yeah, especially you're going to lose a ton of time, especially without a partner. And here at Daytona Talladega, that's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly right. So right now, let's say under yellow here, a lot of drivers had long pit stops. So say we'll run through those real quick, actually. First of those coming out is Michael Spellikins. Oh, yeah, Michael's actually got about 20 seconds damage, but he's missing the front clip of that car. I don't see him getting away without a fast repair in that 88 machine, unfortunately for him. And I'll say we run down the order here. Some of these other drivers, slightly longer pit stops. Chummy Miller, about a 27-second pit stop in that 04. See a little bit of left front damage there. Might be able to get away with that there. So I'm not sure how the back's looking. Back looks good, so... But that being said, nose damage definitely more important there. Alright, let's see. Let's keep running down here. Long pit stops, though, include TJ Allen, Matt, about a minute 17. Definitely some dented nose on that car. Quabi Brooks as well in the 53. We saw a little bit of side contact to the outside wall, or inside wall, I should say. And looks like a little bit of right front damage as well. He had about a minute 30. Alberto Lopez, same thing, about a minute 30 repairs for his car as well. So this is going to be, again, a little bit of a crapshoot how these guys are going to cycle through here.
Yeah, it is going to be a race about attrition. Like, you got your guys, like, in the back, you know, just hanging out during that first run. Hopefully they got avoided. Looks like Jim Brooks got about that unscathed. I think so.
Looking at the pit stop for Jim, yeah, pretty much a 4-second stop for him. So, yeah, based on that, I don't suspect any damage unless fast repairs. That's the only question now, of course, is the fast repair situation. Did anybody have to use it or not? I'll say, actually, let's go check on Michael Spell, and look how pristine that number 88 car is. That is, unfortunately, fast repair gone for Michael, so he's going to have to try to keep this thing clean to the end. So we'll keep an eye on that 88. Hopefully, as I said, hopefully no further involvement in the incidents for him. But that's a tough break for him because it's just, I mean, we're at lap number 9 here, and at this point he's going to have to try to run what 60 or well, let's say 50. I'm not good at math. I'm not going to even bother.
Didn't you learn the math over at Daytona 24, Gaio?
I did not. The only math I did there was adding up how many incident points I had. So.
Oh God, 64 laps.
Yeah, we chatted about that a little bit prior to the race and say so. Yeah, well, you weren't here at the moment though, Matt. But hats off, got to go to that number 5 of JD Crow because he and his team won their prototype split there. And so yeah, so congrats to them on their big Daytona 24 win.
Congratulations. I know what it's like to lose one.
Yeah, as I mentioned that as well. We were definitely not making friends in that one. Mostly me though, but as you see, actually a little early jump here for JD Crow. For Joseph Morales over JD Crow. We'll see how this pans out for him. Is this going to be a kind of an early jump and then get kind of just eaten up here as they all start to build up together? Because you can already see JD Crow. He's hooked up now with the number 24 of Everett Lane, and then on the inside is Michael Pegg. So. One thing he does have going for him is he's going to have Michael Pegg pretty much forced to have to commit to him on the inside line, but I think the momentum shift is going to go JD's Crow's way as he does indeed take the lead off of 2 down the backstretch.
I'm just looking at the guys in the back, just trying to avoid the big ones. I know the field's pretty spread out right now, but it soon will come back together here shortly.
And that actually, I mean, that could be something that is going to work in Joseph Morales' favor there, is to do that little early jump. I'm sure drivers probably not expecting it there. So, like you said, they're going to have to kind of all line up and work together, but there's going to be some of those that have that damage that may not be able to pull back up to the draft. And so that could separate this field a little bit if it just takes too long to get everybody else organized. However, back up front, though, now Everett Lane takes the point there. And that's going to leave the Gruber brothers now on the outside line. And that is, as we've always seen throughout the season, a very dangerous duo here working together. Surprising, though, here, Matt, they actually jump straight to the 3rd lane. They don't even bother with the middle lane. They're going to just jump straight to the top here.
Yeah. Speaking of top, I see 3 wide in the back. Just people just scrambling for position, trying to avoid all the cars who did not take didn't elect not to take the fast repair.
Yeah, and right now, and that gap is starting to show. It's TJ Allen in the 95 on the inside line, and that's he is definitely damaged. I think it's Alberto Lopez trying to work with him to help him out, but that basically means that you've got a car with nose damage leading that second group, and that's definitely not where they need to be, which now it's going to be remedied here with the number 23 of Sebastian Marin now taking the point. However, with Sebastian Marin having that motor blown, was not able to get back to the pits, had to take a tow as well. Now he sits 1 lap down in the 23 as well.
Look how field is spread out now. There's a huge gap between the main pack, and now you got a 3-car breakaway trying to get to the main pack, which is led by Sebastian Marin. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, saying it looks like, because again, the interval that you got to watch there, which is what I'm watching right now, is the gap between who is that right now? Yeah, Sebastian Marin and Jim Brooks. Now Jay Hilliard actually, and it looks like it's about 1.6 seconds roughly. However, with all this movement going on up front here with Patrick and Seth Gruber, again, kind of running the Dale Jr. line, if you will, here, Matt, just running the wall here, and I mean, it's working for them. It looks like drivers are having a tough time trying to get around them on that inside line. The momentum really working on that outside. As soon as I say that, they're going to make a move straight down to the middle, possibly to the bottom here through turn number 3.
Way to blow it. I would love to see that junior line coming to the whole race.
That would be a pretty interesting one to see. I say we've seen the line. Oh, a little bobble there. We're good. I've seen it before with some series, but usually it's like I said, it's right on the white line, especially those next gen cars. But yeah, haven't seen the train on the outside like we kind of seen before in NASCAR. However, do need to mention though what you were mentioning earlier about the 23 car of Sebastian Marin. They're pretty much there already here. They've caught in the back of Jim Brooks here, and I have a feeling they're going to kind of now probably start to set their sights on moving even further forward up. Although Sebastian's in a pretty safe spot now. I'd say he's in the lead draft here, and his closest competitor for that lucky dog is BK Anderson, who suits about 2.5 seconds behind him there in that second pack.
That's pretty impressive. That guy is something else, you know what?
Yeah, definitely really good teamwork with Sebastian. Who's in that group with him? Eric Laurie, that's no big surprise, and also Jay Hilliard. Jay winning the first race of the season, and Sebastian winning race number 2. So, I mean, we got our 2 race winners there working together. He's content now. Looks like he's just going to kind of cruise in the back. Jay and Eric, though, looks like they may have some other ideas here.
See the lap times next time by compared to first pack against the second pack here.
That's actually a really great idea, Matt. So that last time by, I'd say it's hard to decide who to watch, but I believe roughly the overall lead has been Patrick Ruger in the 01. A 50-35 for him. Second pack being led by, I believe, is it Kevin LaChance?
I thought it was PK Anderson. Kevin LaChance?
Well, I think it's kind of bouncing around. Kevin's the second car line. He ran a 50-83, so about a half a second slower.
Yeah, they're going to have to tuck in behind each other and get stuff going.
Yeah, and that's the risk versus reward, of course, is you want to catch that lead pack, but how aggressive are you willing to be to get up there? So we've already seen one driver blow their motor trying to draft too hard, and of course then sometimes that push gets too aggressive and drivers can go around there. So it's just a risk versus reward, and unfortunately that second group is definitely starting to slow down even more. So 51-19 it looks like. Actually 51-32 I should say for Kevin LaChance to a 50-33, so almost a full second slower.
Oh wow. Come on boys, you can do it.
However, inside line starting to surge here, and it's going to be Jackson Carr now taking the lead in that number 97. So we'll see what he's got going for these guys. So, but yet again, though, the Groovers working that third lane and brought with him Keith Horner. So Keith is definitely one that has zero hesitation making that third lane happen. So not a surprise to see him working up there. We saw him at Daytona trying to get someone to go up there with him early and just never got the opportunity when he wanted it to happen. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on Keith over the course of this one. But right now we're only on lap number 17, 10 laps since their pit stop. So still lots of racing left to go in here. Probably, again, about another 15 or so before we set. Close call there. Oh, man. Robert DuPont pretty much just was going to get there, sitting there in front of Joseph Rouse. Not sure if there's any communication between them, but that was a very tight move to get down low off of entering 3.
Yeah, that caused that whole front line to check up, and it kind of spread them out a little bit. But as you say, I love watching them Groover Brothers race. Them just work their magic, just get to the front, just make it look so easy.
They really do, and like I'm kind of been joking about is the fact that obviously A, them being brothers, and also B, them being twins. You kind of wonder, just like, is it just like one of those things where like you can almost share a mind, if you will, with your twin? You always hear stories about that kind of stuff, but it just seems like
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yep, they cleared them both.
However, unfortunately, Keith Horner's going to be like, hey guys, you forgot somebody here, as he's now the lone car in that third lane and has no openings here to try to slot himself back in.
Yeah, they are in full control of the race now.
Gotta give a shout out though to the 04 of Chummy Miller. We mentioned some of the right front damage he's still got in that 04 car, but was able to get a good restart, got up to that lead pack, and he's going to be able to hang on here and not put himself in a tough spot. So that's a good job on the restart and be able to get in that lead pack. And now, of course, knowing his damage isn't too bad, and allows him to have some options here as this race will unfold. Yeah.
Whoa, that was pretty close to the other car to the outside. But it looks like a brand new paint scheme for Mr. Chummy Miller.
Yeah, I think it is. I wonder if that's because they realize, like, hey, I can't tell which of us is which in the broadcast. I'm going to switch my things up. Or knowing him, actually, he's probably got some new sponsorship on the side of that thing. So that, and also, I mean, I say that to TJ Esports group, I say they do paint design. So they probably were able to pull some of that out of the paint shop that they liked. And like, well, what better place to show it off than over here at the Area 51 Xfinity Series? So right now, Matt, we have 27 cars in this lead pack here. Right now, the last driver in the lead pack is Jim Brooks on the lead lap. Then it's Sebastian Marin right behind him in that 23 car, who's also still sitting one lap down. However, the last car in this pack. But again, though, it's now gone to about almost a 5-second lead, and the bigger issue is now Randy Minor leading that group. He's got some connectivity issues. I see him blinking there in front of these guys, and that's just going to make it that much harder here for that second car in line, which is BK Anderson, to be able to try to push him forward. So that's about the point where if you're in this group, you got to tell that one like, hey man, you're blinking and it's slowing us down even further. So we need to probably honestly should have him try to drop to the back and let BK take the lead here.
You know, just to be honest with you there, Gaio, they're making up some time to the lead group.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the time. It's not showing on my side, at least not this last time by, but maybe it was the previous lap. But right now, yeah, just...
the previous lap, they ran a 50.693. And let's see what the Gruber brothers ran.
So this time it's this time by itself, it was a 50.29 for the Grubers compared to a 51.18 for Kevin LeChance. So again, almost a full second off.
Wow, because it looked like they were catching. Couldn't have lost that much.
And it might be one of those things that say maybe the blinking had just started that last lap, and so while it was going well, I think that blinking, and I think that's exactly what happened. I'm looking back now. I believe it's a new driver leading that. Yep, it's indeed BK Anderson. So now that puts the pushing role to go onto that 19 car of Kevin LeChance. He's got to stay aggressive on that number 32. And of course, then Michael Spell needs to tuck right on the 19. And that's basically the way it works here with these plate races, is that driver that's leading the group, they have to be the second driver needs to pretty much push that lead driver without overheating his car. And then Michael Spell's job is to stay as close to the pusher as you can, without pushing the pusher, because that usually then leads into some trouble. So, but right now, let's say just unfortunately the lap times aren't going the way they need to. So at this point in the race, they probably are going to need the help of a yellow in this when they get back into the thick of it.
Oh, those were the boot knocker days, man. They just run the table, man. Just the way they would do it. It's smart. I mean, I would love to master it and learn with those guys, but it's very hard for me to push as well. You know, I'm not the greatest pusher in the world, but I can make a good leader.
I say, and that's the thing is, I mean, they basically made a science, art or science out of it, if you will, just because of the way they were able to drive. They basically would just lock onto each other and be able to push really aggressively and still keep the temperatures where they needed to be. Because I mean, I've talked to them a little bit, and they would mention like, okay, yeah, what we do is, because they offer to help the drivers if it was asked for, or if it was needed. And yeah, they would just basically stagger off a little bit, try to keep that oil water temperature cool. I learned a lot about actually moving one way did one way did the other. So depending on which temperature was getting worse, that's where you need to stagger your car. And yeah, I mean, they made it look so easy, and actually getting some great insight here from Mom Karen over here on YouTube. That her always have been like that. Actually, kind of one of those things, like even being able to finish one another sentence. So, I'll say maybe it's kind of checked into the iRacing side of things as well, as they like I said, just they kind of almost maybe know what each other is thinking, and obviously they're in communication through Discord, but even then it's always a benefit when you probably have an inkling of what's going to happen before anybody even says anything. So they're definitely been a really fun group combo to see working together as they've joined the league not too long ago.
I look things have calmed down toward the front. I think that 3 wide has stopped, well, for the moment. But we got an Ealer, Everett Lane.
Yep, Everett Lane working the inside line. And I'll say he's got a great pusher there. Jackson Carr's been doing a great job helping him keep that inside. And I mean, that's the thing is, you look at that inside row and look at those top 3 on the inside. You've got Everett Lane, Jackson Carr, Jaden Crow. 3 very, very stout plate racers, and just racers all in their own right as well. So, and that's what makes it, like I said, I think the third driver a lot of times is honestly the unsung hero, because the second car is one that really gives the big push, but it's the third one that keeps that momentum up. And so right now it's actually, I think, JD Crow that's able to keep that momentum shift going in the right direction. But of course, as I say that, you've seen Cody Nagels, he's been able to get a little tighter in that 06 car. That's been allowing the outside line to start to push up just a little bit more here. But I'm saying that's the thing, it's still early, it's still a risk versus reward race. I think that's why you're seeing those third cars not get too close. but just close enough to maybe help their line just move a little bit. But I think right now it's almost a little bit of a chess match, just waiting till it's really the time to go after it, which, I mean, right now we're only on 26 to 75, so 50 to go at this point. Definitely not time to drop the hammer completely yet.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This is Jackson Carr's second race here, right? Correct?
I'm going to dig into that, and I will let you know here in just a moment.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job pushing, keeping our leader out front there, Mr. Everett Lane.
So I'm gonna be researching this right now. So give me 1 moment. I'm gonna make you run the show here and talk about what's going on while I start digging around just to put you on the spot.
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot.
All right, found Jackson Carr. He has a total of 5 Area 150s. 5 Area 50. I can't talk tonight. 5 Area 51 starts, and actually here comes the strategy that we just talked about, that green flag pit stop. Joseph Morales, Matt, he is in on his own as he's going to hit pit road here at lap number 28. And so this is the risk and of staying out to get that. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a short-term game with the leading a lap getting a bonus point there. But the risk now is him not getting or being off on his own here, unfortunately, that 60 car, as he's already down and away, but he's going to be running numerous laps here by himself right now. As while we were checking that, let's say we've got a little bit of shuffling around going on there. As you can see now, it's the 5 of JD Crow as he
they are moving around a lot.
Yeah, almost a little contact between the 07 and JD there. But yeah, it looks like they're starting to shuffle around a little bit here. I think JD is ready to start making his move towards the front here, as he's going to, I think, try to get that outside line to make another charge here, which has now put Jackson Carr still sitting in that second group now with the 07 of Robert DuPont behind him.
Yeah, for momentarily, Mr. Crow was in the sucker hole. He was looking his way to the back, but look at that third line came in through, and they all settled down again.
Yeah.
Well, here we go on the third line, trying to get a third line going, but
I don't
think Keith Horner doesn't want no part of him right now.
I think it looks like Keith almost threw a fake there, if you will. However, though, you've got the Grubers here. They said, you know what? We know that 5's pretty quick here. Let's see if maybe we can pick him up and maybe get all 3 of us up that top side. So we'll see. But right now, man, there's a lot of movement going on. I think, like I said, things are starting to ramp up a little bit just before the green flag pit stop window. I think that's exactly what it is now these drivers, they just know every second's critical. So how aggressive can you be? Maybe try to get that lead. Go out in front as contact.
Oh, there you go, JD Crow.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's going to bring out a yellow here, and it looks like, unfortunately, it also included the 07 car. But now the concern is the drivers behind this pack are going to have to try to avoid him. But say pace car's already out. But unfortunately, I believe I saw the 07 trying to hunt him out. Where's Robert DuPont? Yeah, he's going to get looped around here. But it looks like you can see here comes the second pack. And again, that's the downside of that second pack was the fact that they lost the draft, but they had plenty of time to avoid that incident. So let's go back and see what happens. Also, this actually could be a huge break as well for that 60 of Joseph Morales, because now he had just pitted here. He stays on the lead lap as well, so he's got some options here.
So he could just stay out and...
Yeah, he may just stay out here.
We'll find out. But he's only got 3 laps of green. We'll see.
All right, so we're going to look to see where the contact happened. It looks like it's that Ford Mustang. I'm trying to catch the car number there. The 16. Oh, yeah, 16 of Michael Taylor. Let's back it up a little more here so we can get a better look at it. I was trying to find who it was first.
And it looks like JD Crow came down on somebody.
Same. I can't tell if one came up and one came down. And it's just, maybe everybody trying to go for the same real estate here. So, I mean, we're not here to set blame and try to make calls here. But, actually, it looks like, I think it's kind of honestly just a little bit one of those met in the middle situations there. So one came up, one came down a little bit. And unfortunately, at that point, the 5 just tries to hang on to it. Nothing he can do. But it's Robert DuPont that gets by far the worst of it there on the outside wall. And then, unfortunately, plus side, Chummy Miller saved that fast repair mat, as he'll probably now have to use it, as it looks like the front or the hood is off on it. But it looks like as a whole here, the rest of the cars behind did a very nice job of being able to get around him here. You see the 12 there of Zach Fritch. He's able to swing around the outside. And then look at the 55, Dean Wilkinson. Has to do a little bit of lawn mowing there to try to sneak around there as well. But overall, looks like it's going to wind up a little bit of a contact there for the 46. Unfortunately, as the 07 slid back up the track a bit. But yeah, so otherwise, though, not too bad here. And I believe once all is said and done, should bring the lucky dog as well over to 23 of Sebastian Marin.
Goodness. You gotta watch a replay of Brian Grimm. My goodness.
All right, let's find Brian here. We'll go back and take a look. Where are you at,
Not
Brian?
a scratch.
There's Brian. All right, let's go back and take a look when this all happened for him. Let's hop on board. It's already happened, so let's back down a little bit. And this time we're going to jump on the roof of him, and we'll watch it at slow motion here because it sounds like this is a close one. As I said, there's the contact, and then you see already JD Crow with a big slide, and then, oh man, well, maybe a little bit of a right front crinkle there possibly, but you can see it kind of fixes itself there. But yeah, definitely a close call there.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe not on the damage side. Looking at his pit stop, yeah, I think he actually did have damage, Max. It looks like about a 21-second pit stop.
Okay.
But keeping that car pointing in the right direction, though, I mean, I think honestly that's a win in itself there.
Yeah, that could have been far worse than it actually was.
And we talked about strategy, Matt. Joseph Morales, he does indeed stay out, which will put him back up front. And also will now shorten that. Remember, he was about 7 laps off sequence before. Now going to be only 4 laps off with when he pitted to the leaders.
Gael, if I was in Joseph Morales' spot, I was come down, take fuel only. And that way you have a shorter pit stop and you still gain track position.
And that's actually a really good point too, Matt, is the fact that he could have tried to... If he could have hustled out of the pits and got back to the tail end of the pack, all the leaders here looked like they had about 10, 11 second pit stops. He probably could have had about, I'd say, for a little splash like that, probably about a 3-second pit stop. Honestly, he may have been able to cycle himself back out into about the top 5, top 10 potentially. So, but I mean, it's worth. I mean, I think it's worth a gamble for him. Possibly, I mean, it might be one of those things like, hey, lightning could strike twice. You never know. So we'll have to wait and see because he is indeed staying out. So no strategy there for him. Drivers topping off, though, are going to include Eric Laurie. And then you're going to have a handful joining in a little further on back there. Dean Wilkinson, Todd Siebels, Vicente Guerrero's in there as well. And now it's going to bring some of the remaining towards the back. And saying that's it. If you're in the back of the field already, you might as well top off here. And this could be a good break as well for Sebastian Marin because this will allow him to tag onto the back of some of his teammates to try to make something happen here if they need to.
It looks like is TJ out of fast repairs at this moment, or I think he got involved with that first track. No, he did not. I don't think so. So he's trying to hang on to that fast repair.
Yeah, so drivers we know had to use their fast repair include the 23 of Sebastian Marin, the 32 of BK Anderson, and the 80 to Michael Spell. I know for a fact those 3 did have to use them. I'm not sure for the rest of the field, though. So, unfortunately, it'd be nice to be able to see those numbers.
Yeah, it looks like the 53 just used his fast repair, and now his car's all squeaky clean now.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Let's go jump and look at that 53 of Quabi Brooks. It was the right front. That was the question mark earlier. That car does look awful clean once more. So, you may be right there, Matt. And I'm a little hesitant about that call there, unless he had some extra damage that we weren't aware of. But he was holding on to that second pack without any trouble. So, yeah, a little nervous about that call to use that fast repair now because, like I said,
yeah, it's kind of early.
It's early, and it wasn't really bad damage. Like if your front clip's missing, like Michael Spell, if your motor's blown off, so you have no choice, things like that, then yeah, for sure you take it. But if you can hold the draft, I think you keep that fast repair in your back pocket. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I've been proven wrong many times in my life. So we'll see here. We're going to restart coming to lap 34. So just getting a couple of laps away from our halfway point in this race. And so this will be an interesting window here, Matt. I don't believe they can one-stop it to the end here, but somebody's going to try to see how far they can stretch it.
Yep. I think we're projected probably about lap 62, 60, 61, 62.
Yeah, as I see here, I'm trying to do some quick numbers on fuel. With these guys all pitting at 31, if they can go, let's say 26, 27, that would put them at about 58 laps most likely on the stretching side of things. We'll see. It could be possible, but the same thing. I have to be doing some math here, and not my strong suit.
No, you're fired from the math department.
That's what I pay my crew chief big money for.
Yeah, didn't pay off their Sunday.
No, that it did not. Well, and that wasn't a math issue. That was incident point issues. However, up front though, Cody Nagels, Joseph Morales, they continued to lead the front row here. But the Groover brothers though, Matt, they've split up a little bit. You can see Patrick, he's on the outside there, second row, four rows deep in the inside line is Seth. So we'll see if they can find their way back together here at some point. But again, still very early on in this one. I don't think we've seen all the shenanigans and movements that we're probably bound to see at some point in this one. However, Cody Nagels is able to get that push he needs to get back to the lead.
Yeah, I saw a lot of move around up front between Morales and Everett Lane. Everett just like me trying to follow somebody and can't attach to somebody's bumper, and there goes that outside line. So here we go. Here goes Patrick Groover.
Yeah, Patrick getting a great push there from 37. Yep, that's Keith Horner there working that second line. So he is also, like I said, one that's never one to shy away from that second line, even third line. So, but right now we stay 2 by 2, but working the third by himself. I was about to say, I have a feeling there's something about to happen, and there it goes. It's going to be the
There we go.
He's going to give up a little bit of track time to pick up his brother, and they're going to probably make another big charge to the front here.
You cannot take your eye off those guys. They make magic happen.
They definitely keep things interesting, that's for certain. So, and as I was saying, it's one of those things we talk about a lot is you got to have teammates, and I mean, we talk about teams usually. I don't think we've talked about too much about having a duo that's about as good as those two are. So, again, that's also another just how impressive they've been. So, we'll see. Unfortunately, say one of these days I'm going to start to remember which one's which on the car number front and race results. Because I know one of them has the win on the Thursday series to kick it off. However, was able to do so without the help of his brother. And then Matt, working math backwards here, I believe to get to the scheduled distance of lap number 75, they would actually need to pit around lap number 48 if they can go 27 laps. So of course lap number 50 if they're going to try to get to that to the 50 lap mark there. So that would be my question mark if these drivers can get to lap number 50 or so. And I think they can, because I believe it's only about, with them pitting at lap number 31, yeah, it'd be about less than 20. So yeah, I believe we are at a 1.1 stop race at this point.
If them boys can get to, I'm saying about lap 56, 57, they probably have to take less fuel and less time in the pits, and more track time gained.
Yeah, always the shorter fuel you can do, the better you can do. So, but right now that third line is starting to form strong. You've got now the 97 Jackson car. Dean Wilkinson's popped up there as well. So we got 3 wide, 4 rows deep right now. And we do have the whole field all in the lead pack once more. That split up that we saw on the earlier restart, that does not happen this time around. So we've got all 40 drivers here on the same pack. And right now the Lucky Dog battle though is going to be between BK Anderson in that 32, and then about a second back though is the 46 of Derek Gilray, who's the second car one down, and then Bob Fitzgerald in the 08 car, who's right now just kind of cruising a little bit towards the back here. I think just trying to keep that car safe.
I'm thinking we're seeing the conservative side of Mr. Sebastian Marin here.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the right call, though, at this point, at least. He's going to make a move. The question is when Duty mentioned we just crossed the halfway point, Matt. I think that's the right call for him because, again, he's got no fast repairs left in the tank. So, however, up front, though, so I haven't really talked about him tonight, but Jack Walls, he's found his way to the front in that number 83, working with Keith Horner on the inside line this time for Keith. Say somewhere he has not been a lot here tonight. And I'm saying you can see Jack a little bit of rear end damage to that car, but not enough to affect his leading abilities. So, and that's the thing we talked about. Really, nose damage is the concern if you're going to be in the front of this pack. But a little bit of back end damage never hurt anybody here. So,
no, not whatsoever. The main thing I'm more concerned about is the front. How much damage you got, because it really does affect your performance.
Yep. And right now, say all is holding pretty steady. It's Michael Taylor that's working the middle lane here. Say with Patrick on that outside line. So, and right now they're all pretty even. Say again, just kind of the ebb and flow of plate racing. At one point, you'll see one kind of surge ahead a little bit, then another. So right now, neither of these lines has the obvious advantage.
Still 3x3. I think it was. I see this toward the end of the race, there, Kyle.
Well, I mean, after last week at Daytona, like, so much room for activities. We can go 3 wide all the time if we want to. So the nervousness is when you get too comfortable 3 wide, do we see somebody decide, hey, you know what? There's a 4th lane that we can fit in. Let's do it. So we might see it. Coming to the white, I wouldn't put it past them. I think if their opportunity arises and there's an obvious hole for it, I think someone's going to go and try to fill that opening and see if they can make a late charge.
For me, trying to go 4 wide, we'll end up with a damaged race car.
Yeah, well, and that's always the fun part too, is you never know who has incident points, who does not. So if you have an incident-free race, is it worth being less aggressive to get those 5 bonus points? Because then that driver that maybe has a 1x, a 2x, a 4x, whatever it may be, they'd be like, hey man, I've got the opening here. I can go ahead and be more aggressive because I've got those incident points. I got nothing to lose. I already lost those 5 bonus points.
I think I'm really concerned about is Joseph Morales, which is off that pit cycle, but he lost the lead, but he's still on the inside line. He'll probably have to pit here in the next 8 laps.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing I think where Joseph is he's been able to run this inside line and he's been able to save fuel here. Because again, you can see he's leaving a little bit of a window in front of the 06 to the 06 in front of him of Cody Nagel. So that's the only thing he's got going for him. And again, it was only a 4-lap swing this time. I believe it was 7 the time before. So he might be able to maybe gain a lap or 2 where it won't be as damaging to him. And saying the other question, of course, is going to be the fuel strategy. Maybe someone's going to say, you know what, I want to pit as soon as my window's open, and again, maybe pit around that lap 50 or so mark, and that could be his opportunity to go ahead and tag on to a group that maybe he doesn't have any kind of affiliations with, but could get him that draft that he needs to have for that pit entry and exit. And again, Lucky Dog Battle is starting to close up a little bit here. You see BK Anderson, he's on the outside line, but however, Derek Gilray in that number 46 here, he is not too far behind, actually right behind him, I should say. So this is, if there's a yellow, again, and this is all pending them not being involved in the yellow as well. Right now, let's say it's pretty much, it's still BK's, but Derek is in a great position here now to capitalize should he choose to.
Okay, we got a new leader there, Gael.
Yeah, it's been going back and forth a little bit, but yeah, like I said, Jack Walls, though, I mean, he's been able to get a lot of help from Keith Horner. I say Keith's been doing a great job pushing any and every lane that's been available to him, inside, middle, outside. And so, yeah, so right now, though, I say if you're comfortable here, then all is well. If you want to be out front leading, you're not happy with where you're sitting. But all I want to do is a little bobble there down the backstretch. Looks like everybody holds on to it fine, though. But I want to do is I want to hop on board and watch with Cody Nagels here, because this is the part that I have the most trouble with, is when you're that second, third car in line. Actually, as you see, Michael Taylor, he's been able to clear that outside or the inside line. He drops to the inside. But when you're that third, fourth car in line on the bottom, it's very difficult.
Oh, a big checkup!
Yeah, big checkup. You see the bump there between the 37 and the 06, but it looks like
they got it together. Woo, that could have been big.
The question now, though, is did anybody get any damage from that? A little bit of nose damage, possibly, and things like that. But that could really shake up the running order here because it's going to start to, like I said, it's going to separate the field a little bit. It's going to allow drivers to build some momentum back up, and maybe we see that momentum get shifted to that second, third lane. So they got great driving by those guys to have the quick reaction to hang on to those cars.
You are 100% correct, Gael. Cody Nichols does have a little bit of front end damage from that.
So let's try to hunt down that 06 car once more. Where are you at, Cody? There you are. And I say the easiest way to look at that is we're going to go to the car in front of him, which is the 32 of BK Anderson. We're going to look out the back of BK's car, and yet you can see a little bit of a crinkle there, right? Kind of the gap between where the hood and the nose meets. So a little bit of nose damage for Cody. So that's going to be the tough question here. Do you use that fast repair? Do you save it? Because if you're out in front, that could really hurt your car. So we'll have to see what Cody wants to do here. Again, that's pending us getting to that green flag pit stop window, which we're at 46 of 75. So right now sitting at 30 to go here. Again, I think lap number 50, 25 to go. Probably the magic window for when we might start to see some drivers make that maybe an early pit stop to try to get off sequence and try to kind of make that big entry exit moves to get back out to the front.
If I was in Cody's spot, I don't know, Kyle. It's so close, but
I think I would.
If you got it in you think you'd save it, but me being an aggressive person, I would probably use it, knowing it's probably your last stop. Say if it does go green for the rest of the way, then you're in trouble. It's a risk versus reward here. You never know.
And speaking of trouble, you see Quabi Brooks he's going to now get put a lap down. Actually missed it, but it looks like a pit stop he made at lap number 43. So not sure what happened with that. Not a scheduled pit stop either. So kind of an odd situation there. So he's going to now drop a lap in the 53. And of course, just to kind of make matters a little worse for him, is that pit stop timing. It's not going to be enough for him to make it to the end here on fuel. So even with that, he's going to be in a tough spot. He's going to need a break as well to get back into the thick of this one. But right now, though, you see there's the Groover brothers. They're able to clear the inside of Everett Lane. They jump back to the lead here on the inside line. That's going to now allow Jackson Carr to lead the second row with the 19 of Kevin LaChance right behind him.
That's quite weird. According to my scoring, he wasn't shown for a couple of laps. I wasn't able to pick him up.
That could also play a role in maybe connectivity issues, I'll say. And that could be an on because actually sharing connectivity between myself and him. So, we weren't looking too far back though. So I know he was just kind of cruising with the field. So possibly if something happened, I know he does run VR, so maybe some VR hiccups, things of that nature are always a potential. So basically just at this point now that adds another driver for that Lucky Dog battle. Which again, still BK Anderson's in that catbird position in the 46 car. However, Derek Gilroy and Chloe Brooks are kind of locked onto each other now. It's working that second line. Maybe the 53, 46 try to work together here to have a chance to get up to that under 32.
Yeah, look at the field. It's pretty spread out right now. Trying to figure out when they're going to pit.
Yep, as I think everybody's starting to jockey for that pit stop position here. And honestly, though, this is when I actually want to pounce and I want to work that second lane, third lane if I have to try to see what I can make happen. Like I said, a lot of these drivers, they're going to account for green, white, checkered as well in their finish before they make their pit stop. Otherwise, we probably would have seen them in around this time or so just because of the fact that they should be able to go 26 on fuel. But I think these drivers are going to allow for a couple extra laps to go just to make sure that they're in that green, white, checkered territory. They don't have to make a late splash.
Yeah, I remember last week Mr. Chummy ran out of fuel coming to the start-finish line. But yep. we had 3 green, white checkers that race.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Do you want to account for 1, 2, all 3? I mean, there's a lot of options there. However, I do see some drivers starting to peek to the outside line. I think it's Dean Wilkinson, Les Levy. They said, you know what, let's go. And also Quabi Brooks and the 46 car, Derek Gilroy. They said, you know what, let's go also. And here comes a few drivers here coming. Yep. Looks like just 2 though. It's going to be TJ Mashaw in that 33 and his teammate right. Oh my goodness, Gaetano Papalardo got the big win on Thursday with the trucks. I don't know how he hung onto that car, but that's going to bring those two. And he overshoots the pit stall just by a little bit, but that should be okay.
Yeah,
so keep an eye on them.
Yeah, knowing me, that would cost me time, big time.
Well, I think
even the slightest.
Oh, it's going to get worse, unfortunately, though, because he winds up getting caught speeding, Matt, as he still sits in pit road. I wasn't sure if he got down to speed or not. Honestly, I was just more impressed with the fact that he didn't wreck the car. But unfortunately was not able to get to pit speed in time. So unfortunately for his teammate TJ Mashaw, that completely sends him out without any help behind him, as he's going to have a 40-second stop and hold. But now here comes our second
last
group.
week's winner.
Yep, we've got now Sebastian Marin.
I think I don't know if he spud, Gael.
He was
awfully close.
But I say makes worse for those. JD Crow got a little bit of contact. A little bit more contact, looks like. But unfortunately, Eric Laurie just caught the back end of that 5 of JD Crew. That sends him around, and that's also going to space this group out for their pit stop. So they're going to lose a few drivers here that we're going to try to work together there. So we'll see how many are able to kind of line up here.
Wow, he did not speed. Unbelievably lucky for their last week's winner.
He's a monster. But the problem is, though, here comes Sebastian. He's already down and away. But look at Michael Spell with everything else going on.
Welcome to my world.
Well, yeah, let's say the problem is there's a lot of contact behind. Here comes our next group of drivers. They're going to hit pit road. That's going to be, looks like Cody Nagels, bringing along also Vicente Guerrero in there, and the 32 of BK Anderson. So that's one of our lap down drivers. Also Jim Brooks here caught speeding on pit road, Matt, because he's still sitting now 40 seconds in as well. So
wow.
Some big penalties here, unfortunately, on that pit stop.
Yeah, penalties. Pit road mistakes. It can make and break your race, and we've all been there, and that's crucial.
Yeah, the problem, like I said, was for that 23 of Sebastian Marin. It looks like he's been able to find some help here. He's going to work with, I think, TJ Allen if he can, but he's basically running by himself here. But we're going to jump back to our lead pack, because I believe we're going to start to see some more pit stops here as we're going to approach 22 to go. And yep, here they come. It's going to be Michael Pegg. I think I see the 777 of Everett Lane, or sorry, the 777 of Michael Pegg. Everett Lane's in there. Oh, big slide there from the 12. But I say that's going to be some of the regulators' teammates there, the 777-24. They're going to work together. We know that. And then they brought about a total of 10 cars in with them, including Donald Stewart, Nick Manfredi, Chummy Miller, Joseph Morales. We talked about Joseph. He made the field number, Matt. It's going to be a longer stop, though, for him. So we'll see, can he tag onto the back of these guys?
The field is very spread out right now. I'm trying to see where Sebastian Marin is going to lay out, because he's pretty much had no drafting help. He could have had the option of pushing of TJ there, but he didn't take it.
Well, I think TJ had some nose damage, so it was smarter for him to go around there. And I say, here come the Groover brothers, and they're going to bring in a bunch with them. Oh, actually, no, not. Oh, a little bit of contact, more contact. Unfortunately, I think the 37 got into the 01, the 02. They both hang on to it. Now, next question is, did they get caught speeding? So now they also need to make sure that they are lined up here for their pit entry. So we'll see about Keith Horner, Jack Walls in with them as well. So we'll see maybe more pit penalties and, again, possible damage as well. But, man, yeah, this green flag pit stop is really throwing a lot of drivers for a loop here. And so right now, let's put Kevin LaChance and Brian Grimm to the front as we're approaching 20 to go here.
Well, from right there, I thought Keith Horner got a penalty, but he elected not to take his fast repair.
Yeah, long pit stop for Keith, but you're right. Patrick and Seth, they were able to get under speed still. So we'll see how they come out. Looks like they brought Jack Walls possibly along with them as well. I say, here comes Michael, or sorry, not Michael, that's Kevin LaChance. He's hitting pit road there, and he is bringing, I believe, Dustin Lamb in with him. And yeah, actually, I think actually Kevin maybe got in a little shallower than he needed to, and that kind of forced Dustin to have to try to react there. So now this is going to switch things over to Brian Grimm in the 40 car. But look at what's happening to Brian here. He's stuck in a gaggle of cars, drivers that are either on the tail end of the lead lap, maybe a lap down, trying to get a lap back here. Because you've got Quabi Brooks here with the 5 there behind him of JD Crow. Again, he had a pit penalty. So these guys being very aggressive, Eric Laurie as well, all trying to see if they can get themselves back on the lead lap just in case of a yellow. So this is probably costing these guys time here as they run and kind of try to get organized for their potential pit stops.
I think it's going to cycle out to Vicente Vicente Guerrero is the leader right now.
Yep, yeah, so right now we have 6 cars that have yet to pit. So obviously our top 6, Brian Grimm, Michael Taylor, Dean Wilkinson, Todd Siebels, Robert Rock, and James Hickson. They've all yet to pit. And now the lead looks like it's going to cycle now over to Everett Lane in the number 24, working with BK Anderson there. Talk about, again, drivers maybe a lap or more down, but they could play an outcome in this one. Saying unfortunately, though, the 24 just is able to push himself to the front there, and he's going to unfortunately hang that 32 now out to dry. So now actually put Everett Lane as the leader of that group, and here come the Groovers, though.
Here come them Groover brothers.
However, we're going to jump back to the front here. We're going to see, does Brian Grimm pit? Yes, he does. He's going to come in. I believe this is the TW Motorsports team here, Matt. Brian Grimm, Michael Taylor, Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson, Robert Rock, and James Hickson. And much more organized. But look how quickly some of these guys had to come to a stop there. The 16, the 55, and the 45. I think this is where hitting that early pit stall really is a tough spot to be in. Because you really don't, you can't take advantage as much of the pit road entry because you have to slow down a little more than you want to. So we're going to switch back to our race for the lead because right now it's between Everett Lane and Patrick Groover as we have 19 to go, coming to 18 to go. The question is going to be, where do these drivers that just pit come out in relation? And I don't think it's going to be the result they want to see because right now Todd Siebel's winning this race off of pit road. But here comes the lead pack here coming up to him with a huge head of steam. And I don't think they're going to have enough momentum built up to catch these guys.
No, they're going to have to get organized. If they do it really quick, they can catch them. Just can't be too late.
Yeah, they're going to have to get pretty aggressive. I'd say it might even be where Todd might have to drag the brake just a teeny bit to make sure he can pick up as many of his teammates as he can. But right now it continues to be Everett Lane and Patrick Groover leading the left here. As I try to see, it looks like we have about 12 drivers in this lead pack that are in contention for the win as we run. So right now the last of those being the 101 of Randy Minor. But we've got a lot of the same guys that we've been expecting to see up in this pack. But again, we also have some Lucky Dog drivers now in this position battling for that spot. Trying to see who's in that catbird seat right now. And I believe it still may be BK Anderson in that 32 right now, as he's got Jim Brooks not too far behind on the inside lane. So right now that's, the Lucky Dog battle's a close call there between the 777 and that 32. And unfortunately it looks like Michael Pegg's kind of getting here, kind of stuck on the outside here, not having a spot to go.
Yeah, that's not the way to go at this time, but you got to over 15 laps to go, but the tension will pick up soon.
Yeah, no, as I say, it's already aggressive now. It's going to get even more aggressive a little bit. One driver I haven't talked about too much, I think, other than some wreck avoidance, and Zach Fritch in the 12 car. He is now up into third, plus 28 currently from where he started. So obviously still plenty of time to go, but a good job by him to work his way through the field and also get that pit stop in and out to be in the mix here. The thing I'm going to be watching now, Matt, though, each lap is going to be watching the lap times because, again, we're spread out in a couple of groups here. Lead pack, Everett Lane, 50.08. The second pack being led by Todd Siebels, a 50.25. Actually, just two of them right now, the 45 and the 40, Brian Grimm. A little slower for Robert Rock, a 50.47. However, TJ Mashal in the 33 car, they were a 49.47, so about a half a second quicker, I think, as they were catching these two, I should say, in front. If they can continue what they're doing, this might have an opportunity, because right now it's only 3 seconds, but if they need to get organized quickly to be able to make something happen here.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make it happen and make it fast because you got about 14 laps to go.
I was watching right there the 01 of Patrick Groover stealing just a littlest of drafts off that 95 car of TJ Allen, and they're doing anything and everything they can to try to kind of work themselves further up in the order around that 24 of Everett Lane. Because I mean, Everett's definitely not an easy one to beat here at the plate races, so they're going to have their work cut out for them, that's for sure. And it looks like Todd Siebels has plenty of company now back behind him. Robert Rock has caught up to them as well, so this next lap or so will be very telling here because it's dropped to now about 4 seconds off the lead. So this next lap or two will be, I think that's going to be the really good tell to see how that second pack has a chance or not of catching these lead pack here in these next 14 laps.
I know we haven't talked about Dean Wilkinson all race, but he's got a new paint scheme, man. That's for them he got a hold of them, the Chummy Esports dudes, and it's a nice looking paint scheme.
Yeah, I kind of got the green-white split there on the hood of the, or on the left and right side, I should say, of it. Yeah, so say, and that's the thing, is it's fun to see those opportunities come along. Lap time wise, Matt, 50:23 for the leader, 51:18 for Todd Siebel. So not a lot, 0.5 of a second. But that was also the first lap that they got kind of all established here. So again, we'll keep watching that. Because of course the other thing too is as they get closer to the end, their pushing is going to start to get more aggressive, and that's where mistakes happen, unfortunately. So let's say this isn't all said and done here. It may not be a two group race here at the end. We're definitely have a chance of seeing a late race yellow and then some craziness at the end.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're all TW Motorsports drivers there.
Yes, I believe, yeah. I'm not sure on the Discord, don't have it handy on me right now, but yeah, I believe those guys are all part of the TW group, with Todd and Brian, Robert, and Dean. So I say if you're going to be lined up together, teammates are definitely the way you want to have it. The only difference is they'd rather it be them being the ones in the lead by about that 4.5 seconds that they currently are down.
Yeah. It can be made up, but time is running out.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I mean, it's down to now about 4.5 seconds, but again, at 13 to go, 12 to go here at the line, just the time isn't adding up, and actually the ticker's going the wrong way as well. So it's not going the way they need it to. It's a 50-15 for Patrick Gruber. It's a 50-87 for Todd Siebels. 50-87 for Todd Siebels. So yeah, it's definitely going the wrong way here. So right now, as things stand, it looks like we'll have pretty much 12 drivers here going for the win as things stand, but crazier things have happened as always in this series.
Yes, that I can know firsthand. You never know when that third lane starts building up.
Yeah, so right now, let's say you got Randy Minor here. He's really playing it safe here, Matt. He's in the lead pack, job done. He got his pit stop in. He was able to get in, get out in the lead pack. He just has to now decide when and where does he want to go to try to have a chance to get this win here. Gonna definitely keep an eye on Randy here to see, because I really like what he's doing here, because he's not in the main craziness of this. So why be too aggressive here early if you're not in the thick of it, like those top 2 or 3 rows, I would say, and instead kind of wait until it's really time to go, and you can start seeing which lanes got the push and got the momentum going their way. So it'll be really interesting to see what Randy does, and of course also giving himself a little bit of breathing room. If there's some sort of incident in front of him, he has plenty of space to react should he need to. And as I say that, we've got some movement up front there. Big move by Everett Lane. He hops in front of the Groovers, and actually look at that, you can see the 01 separated from the 02. But now here's the risk versus reward. Do you drop to the outside line and pick up your brother? Yes, you do. 10 to go.
Yeah, as you're talking about Randy Minor, I would be doing the same thing he's doing. Oh,
I think the 01 and the 68 maybe had a little bit of contact there, and that's cost that group a lot of momentum there for the Groovers there. I was just about to mention, though, also brings David Overstreet into the mix. I don't believe I really talked about him too much tonight either. He's now right in the thick of this thing. But these guys are really starting to jockey for a position. Look at Vicente Guerrero. He's jumped himself up to the outside line in front of that number 24 of Everett Lane. But that's now allowed Zach Fritch to get the push he needs on the inside line in front of Jack Walls, Jim Brooks right there. Now he's kind of right now vying for that lead of this race here. And we're going to now start to get to single digits here with 9 to go.
I was a little worried there for Randy. He almost lost that draft.
Yeah,
don't worry.
He's dropping a little bit more than I'd want him to be doing here, Matt. And I think he probably saw that near contact and may have lifted a little bit too much. Watching the interval, it's going the right way here. So I think he's going to be able to grab back on some. But you're right, though, that definitely becomes a little bit too close for comfort. But right now, man, these guys are all jockeying around very aggressively here. It seems like everybody's trying to find their partners. You see now the 24, he's gone up to the top to pick up Cody Nagels. And as soon as he does that, look at the Gruber brothers. They're going to go top to the bottom here. So, yeah, right now everybody's trying to figure out where do you need to position your car to win this race. I don't know if anybody's got any dedicated friends right now. It seems like everybody's having a hard time of finding their dancing partners, if you will. As right there, Vicente Guerrero, he leads that lap. So, honestly, inside line, the yellow line could become your best friend here, Matt, because at that point, nobody's going to be able to cut to your inside, and that might be able. I mean, I know the outside line for momentum is better, but that yellow line could come into play here tonight if these guys can't decide on which dancing partner they want to stick with the rest of this race here, as we only got 7.5 laps left.
Wow. I'm looking at the lap times between the second group. I don't think they're going to catch him. But
they have been quicker, but it's too late here without a yellow. It's still about 5 seconds from TJ to Randy. So I think it's gonna be too little, too late for them. I'd say without a yellow. But I am watching those. I think Cody Nagels knows what he's seen from those groovers and wants to be the one to try to see if he can be kind of the beneficiary, if you will, of those two. How well they work together. So it's like, hey, I know you guys tandem well together. Why don't you add me to the mix here? And it's working. He has got himself now from about 3 rows back.
We got an accident in the back.
No yellow as of yet. We'll keep it watching up front.
There it is.
Yellow is out.
Oh my goodness. Got a car in the air.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Les Levy went flying in the air. TJ Mashaw's involved as well.
Oh, here comes that third group. Please slow up.
So this is where these guys got to be ready beyond the brakes, and it looks like everybody's going to get through there. But yeah, there's no sense racing. Once the yellow's out, everybody should be rolling off the pace there. Unfortunately, I did see the 60 involved as well. Of Joseph Morales, and also Dean Wilkinson's caught up in this one. So let's go back, because this is going to put us into, I think, actually maybe just outside of green white checker territory. Oh, Michael Spell. Unfortunately, that's going to be night over for him in the 88 car.
Oh man!
But let's go see what exactly happened. And we know we got to watch the 68 there, or 62. I'm sorry, of Les Levy, because it looks like he went flying.
Yeah, it looks like Les Levy's race is over as well.
All right, oh yeah, it's already starting here. Let's back it up a little more. And it looks like it actually may have started around Joseph Morales in the 60.
Yeah, it started with 60.
Let's go and find him on our running order. So I'm having a hard time picking up the car numbers for some reason. There he is. All right, let's take a look here. All right, so you see Joseph in the Budweiser machine on the inside line. And say everything looks like all is well, but yeah, just car drifts up there, unfortunately, and just nothing that the 33 there can do. So yeah, not sure what happened there, but say the one I'm going to be watching here is going to be Les Levy, because once they come back out behind, there's Michael Spell, nothing he can do right behind Sebastian Marin as well. And then yeah, so there's the contact between them. You see the 55 get a piece of the 16 as well. I'm watching the 29 and the 46. They may sneak by this as well. We'll kind of keep an eye on those two. But this is where things go very bad for the 62.
Oh my
unfortunately,
goodness.
Say a little bit of iRacing craziness, but yeah, he takes flight. The man in the Sunoco flag stand there gets a really good view of that wreck as well. However,
BK Anderson gets a lucky dog. Gets his lap back.
That's big for BK there. And also got to mention great avoidance there. I think actually no, it looks like Derek Gilray does get a little piece of that as well. But I believe I saw one driver sneak by there. Couldn't catch the car number, but yeah, we'll jump back live here though. And looks like a few drivers had those faster pairs in hand though, Matt. So they are still in the race here. And also is going to be a huge savior for a lot of drivers that were in a very bad spot. Quabi Brooks comes to mind. I believe he still sits on the lead lap with everything that went on there. But you're right, though. BK Anderson, he gets back on the lead lap. And that's going to now put Derek Gilray a lap down. Unfortunately, he's going to stay trapped a lap down. Gaetano Papalardo, he also is a lap down as he had to pit there. Jim Brooks was not ahead of BK, so unfortunately, he does not get that position as well. So that was, and that's why you had to fight so aggressively, be in that catbird seat. And for BK, he did the job and was able to get there.
Yeah, it's a tough break for them guys. Yeah, I've been on the other side of the coin. It's you got to race hard, try to get your lap back, but when the caution comes out at the wrong time, it's nothing you can do.
All right, Matt. So we are looking at a restart with, I believe, 3 to go. So it's going to basically be potentially a green-white checker to the end. But look at what I'm seeing here on the apron here, Matt. We've got a lot of drivers saving fuel because, again, these guys all pitted around lap 52 to 54 window for most of them, which basically means they can probably go one green-white checkered. I don't know if they can go 2 or 3.
Yeah, I noticed the guys who came down pit road are that'd probably be my spot to do it.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of drivers that pitted. It looks like about 23rd on back hit pit road, starting with Dean Wilkinson. I think Dean obviously using a fast repair with his damage. Actually, I think Dean's going to get an EOL because he had to pit while pits were still closed just to make sure he got that car repaired. But Jackson Carr, actually, one of our front runners, he hit pit road. Maybe didn't have the fuel numbers he needed to go to the end, so he's going to lose some track position there. Sebastian Marin, TJ Mashaw, some of these guys were already towards the back, so I think they said, you know what, let's just make sure there's no question we can make it in case of those green-white checkered. So we'll see. The lights are off, so front row here, Matt, it's going to be Vicente Guerrero on the inside, Zach Fritch outside. Then you got David Overstreet, Cody Nagels there in row 2. Row 3 going to be Jack Walls and Patrick Gruber. And then row 4 will be Donald Stewart and Seth Groover. And then our 5th row for the top 10, Everett Lane and Michael Pegg. So the first thing that stands out to me, Matt, is I'm looking at the 06, the 01, and the 02. We know Patrick and Seth want to work together, but I was watching Cody. Cody was kind of joining the party. There's like kind of being the third wheel, if you will. Yeah,
trying to break up the Groover party.
Not a knock on you, Cody. I mean, you got to go where you need to try to get a chance to maybe I say if you can be in front of them when they make the move. I mean, that could be his winning move, is to say, hey, I've seen those Groover brothers. They work that third lane well. I want to be the one to get pushed by them. So I'm all for it. To say you gotta make moves when you can, and so. We'll see, can Cody do something, or do the Groovers maybe try to, like we've seen before, kind of sucker him up there a little bit and then jump out from him and then go the two of them. So it's, they said, drivers are going to have to quickly here find their dancing partners here for this potential final restart, as we got a little bit of movement there a little bit further back there. Looks like everybody's okay, but not sure what that was about. Looks like everybody's okay here, so we'll see here. So Vicente's got he's got control of this one, Matt.
Yep, I'm looking forward to Mario and Yoshi making moves on the outside early in the going.
Yep, I say won't be surprised to see them make some big moves here. So the first question is, does Vicente go early? Does he wait for the green flag? Again, I think the way this race is, I think you gotta wait until the green flag comes out. Keep everybody bunched up because you don't want anybody to get a huge momentum run on you coming down the backstretch. So. And that's exactly what he does. Green flag is out. We've got 3 to go here at the line.
Yeah, that's very smart by Vicente there.
Yeah, and a great start as well, David Overstreet. There it goes right away. Look at Cody Nagel.
There we go.
Jump out the left side.
Yep.
Is it too soon, though? Because you usually want to wait till you build the momentum up as David Overstreet. Oh, look at that. Jack Walls cuts David a bit of a break there. Could have tried to force his nose under. Lifted just a teeny bit to make sure David could get lined up. But David's got to be careful here. He's giving Jack an opening to try to sneak to that inside line if he wanted to. And now David's going to work that second groove here. So we're going to go 3 wide as they come back from the turn number 3.
Looks like David Overstreet's going to get the big push by Zach here. But I'm looking at that top side guy. Reverse pushing the 06 of Cody Nagels.
Got some tight side drafting there right now with Cody Nagels just a nose ahead. But yeah, right now it's basically Vicente Guerrero, David Overstreet, Cody Nagels. But again, it's not white flag yet. We got 2 to go here. They were just outside green-white checker territory. Now Cody Nagels gets the push he needs. He's going to drop to that middle lane in front of David Overstreet. We got 2 to go still.
Yeah. Whoa, a little big movement up front.
Yeah, it's a big push.
Everybody's pushing very hard right now.
Yep, they are giving it everything they have right now. So, again, right now, it's Vicente that has just enough margin over these guys. Jack's giving him a great push down the back on the inside lane. It's just, I'll say, it's going to take some big pushing, but it's also going to have to be calculated when to make those pushes. So right now the question mark, Matt, can they get through turns 3 and 4 and get through that trial before there's any incidents? Because if they can, then we will race this out to the white flag and to the finish.
That looks like we're going to make it. White flag out.
Looks clean. Yep, white flag, 1 to go. So basically at this point, next car, or first car I should say, to cross line is going to win it, whether it be on their hood, on their nose, or hopefully pointed in the right direction.
Hopefully not. I like to see a good finish.
Yeah, exactly right. So hopefully no Talladega Nights finish where they run physically across the line, but right now, I mean, it is
look at that line going right now.
Yeah, at this point, engine's temperatures be damned. You're going to be pushing for all you are worth. So right now, again,
that was close.
That's going to cost the middle lane some momentum there. It's going to help the outside.
He blew up.
Yep. The O2 Blues motor. That's going to hurt the O1 a little bit. Right now, we got a huge wreck behind, but right now we're going to watch the battle for the lead as it's Vicente Guerrero in front of Jack Walls. But Jack, it looks like, is going to stay committed to that 14. And, yep, Vicente going to get the win.
Who got third?
Jack Walls in second. And it looks like Patrick Gruber going to just hang on to third there in the 01. Donald Stewart looks like was in the thousands. We'll double-check the official standings. But one thing we do know for sure, Vicente Guerrero gets the win with just great pushing by Jack Walls. Let's go back though. We'll watch to see what happened. Let's say we saw what happened. Unfortunately, Seth was pushing for all he was worth. Motor popped, and we saw that earlier. That was exactly what happened with Sebastian Marin. The same thing, just that motor popped, and that was all she wrote back there. So let's go find here. Let's go back and we'll take a look and say we also need to see who all was caught up in this one, because it was pretty much about 10th on back. It looked like, Matt. So let's go back and look here. Well, let me hunt down that 02 car of Seth Gruber. Let's take a look here through turns 3 and 4. We're going to keep it slow, and you'll see the 02. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. And then again, you're going to see the momentum drop. You're going to see that puff of smoke, and at that point, there's just nothing Seth can do.
Oh yeah, I know it. But it's white flag. He's pushing his brother up there. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and then so and unfortunately, he's in the third lane, so he tries to get to the top. But like I said, again, the momentum losses, it just happens so fast, so quick. And unfortunately, the 45 was in the wrong place. And then you see the 40, the 24 goes around. And you see there goes, 40 goes up and over here. It looks like the 33 TJ Mashal almost drives underneath him. And then, it's just everybody piling on in here. Again, just everybody just trying to find any inch they can to make it through this wreck. But unfortunately, a lot of drivers getting collected in it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for some drivers, but
you know what though? We're gonna watch. I see a couple drivers that may have made some really big and good moves here. Although I'm watching it here. Oh no, there's contact between Sebastian and Jackson Carr. I was curious about those two because it looked like they had just had it cleared, but unfortunately they collected one another. They're with Jackson trying to get back out on track. But I know I saw a car kind of looks like be able to pick through. I think it's actually Dustin Lamb here, so I'm going to go back one more time here. We're going to do some speedy rewinds here, so hold on everybody, because I think Dustin Lamb, I think he may have had the moves of the race here, Matt, to get through this wreck. Again, we're going to go full speed here, and let's just watch Dustin get through this thing. I think he gets through unscathed. My goodness, Dustin Lamb, go buy a lottery ticket, sir. That is incredible. So, all right, with that though, Matt, we gotta start chatting with some drivers, but before we do that, we gotta pull up some race results. So let me slow things down here. We're gonna pull up our final results for tonight's event. As again, no question there, Vicente Guerrero gets the win with Jack Wall solidly in second. And actually, Matt, you were wondering about third place. It is going to go to Donald Stewart by 1/1000th of a second over Patrick Gruber.
Yeah.
Cody Neagle gets a top 5. And then 6, you've got JD Crow, David Overstreet, Zach Fritch, Randy Miner, and Michael Pegg. 11th through 18th, you've got Robert Rock, Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson, Kevin LaChance, Dustin Lamb, BK Anderson, Keith Horner, and Jackson Carr. And I'm saying pretty much everybody else here probably got caught up in these incidents there. Let's say in 19th position, you have Quabi Brooks, Joseph Morales, Sebastian Marin, Brian Grimm, Eric Laurie, Everett Lane, Alberto Lopez, Jay Hilliard, James Hickson, Chummy Miller, TJ Mashaw. Say after blowing that motor, Seth Gruber winds up in 30th. Gaetano Papalardo, Bob Fitzgerald, Derek Gilray, Jim Brooks, TJ Allen, Nick Manfredi, and then our final results. Or finishers, I should say, Les Levy. While he finishes 37th, I say Les Levy, I think, definitely gets hang time of the night in that number 62. and then Michael Spell, Michael Taylor, Robert DuPont in the 40th position. So with that, Matt, we got some clarification, and we're going to kick things off with our third place finisher. It's like we had some question marks who it was going to be. It is going to be Donald Stewart. So we're going to drag Donald on in here. Say initially it looked like it was going to be the 01, but 1/1000th of a second, Donald. You have to suffer with Matt and I here for a post-race interview. Take us through that last run in there at the end. Because everybody just was jockeying for a position. It seemed like nobody had like a set partner, if you will, of who they wanted to work with to try to get the chance to win this race there. What was your plan going into? Did you have anybody that you were trying to work with or were working with? Was it just kind of all bets are off there in those final couple of laps?
Well, hey, Gail. Hey, Matt. How y'all doing tonight? To tell you the truth, I didn't even know where I finished. I was just white knuckling it right there. 1 minute you're in 7th position, next minute you're in 15th, the next minute you're in 3rd. And everybody there was just trying to jockey for position, and I just happened to be lucky enough to stay on the bottom, which I knew the top was going to get a good run, but I was pinned down there, so I just had to stay on the bottom and take what I can get.
But that's what these races come to sometimes, though. I feel like, Don. Go ahead, though. So go ahead and continue. I'm sorry.
And I finished at incident free, no incidents.
I think that's the big one right there. Like I said, we'll have to see obviously where the points turn out, because it was something Matt and I were talking about earlier was being drivers in a contention at the end of this race. Like it's a risk versus reward. You finished 3rd, so of course, maybe you lose on a couple bonus points, maybe not winning the race, but 5 bonus points, those go a long ways in this series. So awesome job. And it, like you said, you once you get you're maybe 3rd or 4th in line on the inside line, there's nowhere to go. You got the yellow line working against you there, so you kind of had to just stay committed to the guys that you got in front of, and honestly, sometimes hope for a little bit of luck. And like I said, you were able to keep yourself in a great position all night long and be in that lead pack. There's a couple times I want to say, because you were in that lead pack prior to the yellow, if I'm not mistaken. What were your thoughts when that yellow came out? Were you kind of thinking like, oh man, here we go again?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, because every restart, I always started on the bottom line, so I could never really get up in the middle. There was one time tonight I could get in the middle when I got behind Michael Pegg, and then we tried to go 3 wide, but nobody would jump up there with us, so we kind of give up on that after a few laps. So we just dropped back down in, bled back in, and then when that yellow come out, I'm like, oh God, where am I going to start again, on the bottom?
Yeah, so that's when you're looking at those the odd numbers, like, oh no, give me an even, and yeah. But that's the thing, is it's sometimes it's luck of the draw. And it's we talk about this week after week, where it's obviously talent, skill, and there's always luck involved. And sometimes, like I said, bad luck, what you think could be bad luck ends up maybe being a good thing there tonight, because it looks like the inside line was one of the few lanes that got unscathed there at the very end through that last incident off of 3 and 4. So. You never know. It's like I said, it's kind of a roll of the dice sometimes with these, but a great result for you grabbing that 3rd place. Definitely want to give you the floor here. Any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that podium finish?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to David Overstreet and Fritzy and Les. They were kind of working with me. I'm not really on their team, but we're good friends, and they were working with me. Plus, I had other friends out there I think would work with me.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks, Gail, for your broadcast, and Matt, and all y'all sound pretty good up there in the booth, and also for Area 51, because they do a lot of work behind the scenes, and nobody really sees it. So I want to appreciate all the efforts.
We appreciate that. You're a pretty humble dude. I really appreciate you talking to us.
No problem, Matt, and can't wait to see you back out on track there, buddy.
No, I appreciate you.
Yeah, so he's for the moment. So he's gonna get the itch. He'll be back on these plate races soon. So I'm
scared.
Yeah, I don't blame you with the racing like it was time when you see that 3 wide for probably 10 rows deep there. But yeah, just awesome job though tonight, Don. I'll definitely enjoy this one and look forward to seeing you up front here in future races, man.
Thanks, guys. Had a good time.
All right, that's our 3rd place finisher, again by 1/1000th of a second over Patrick.
Very humble guy. What a humble guy.
Yeah, great guy there in that 78. So So yeah, so really exciting finish. I'm saying great result for him tonight. And then man, I'm gonna say pusher of the race here. Oops, got to get them in the right channel here. But I'll say pusher of the race here tonight, I think is going to go to Jack Walls because just completely committed there to Vicente at the end. And say we always talk about usually the inside line, just you don't get the momentum that you may want to have there on the final runs of these races. But you locked onto that 14. You guys hugged that yellow line, and so you brought that yellow Pennzoil Chevrolet to a second place tonight. But man, I mean, just great work there. So we led some laps for a good portion of this race and got yourself in a great spot to either get that podium or even maybe make a late charge at Vicente. But still, I mean, I'm guessing you feel pretty good about that one tonight.
Yeah, I feel good coming in second. My goal was just to stay behind Vincent there the last couple laps. I don't want a chance causing a wreck or getting wrecked. So, and it would have been tight there coming out of turn 4, trying to get in front of I think the 10 car, and it might have been trouble.
Yeah, you were doing just fine there. You even leading a couple of laps there. Till your mindset was leading the race there with about a handful of laps to go.
My only goal was to try and run a clean car through the whole race. I got caught in that first caution, lap 7, had to use my fast repair. So I was just trying to stay clean for the rest of the race. And luckily I was able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, then that's huge in itself. We're talking about, let's say, we're trying to figure out which drivers maybe had to burn theirs in that first yellow. We knew a few offhand. Obviously, with Michael Spell, we knew for sure for him, and then I think also the 23. We had decided that with the blow motor he had to as well. So, yeah, I mean, to go from lap 7 to lap 75. Keep that car in one piece. I mean, that's a really, really good job there. Saying like Matt said, you were up front in the thick of it for a good portion of that race as well. So definitely hats off to you, Jack, getting that runner-up finish here tonight. So with that though, we got to give you the floor here as well because I'm sure we're going to start getting some royalty checks from Pennzoil here because you've been making that bright yellow company getting some pretty good airtime.
Yeah, I haven't been making the podium so much the past couple seasons, but now it's time. I got to thank Pennzoil for giving me this bright yellow Camaro, and hopefully we'll be back here again next race.
All right, great job tonight. Oh, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
No, Jack. I hope I see you in victory lane here shortly because you've been running up front here a lot lately, and that victory will come very shortly.
I hope so. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, great job, Jack. Enjoy this one, man.
All right, have a good night.
All right, that leaves us one driver left to chat with. That is going to be our race winner in that number 14 of Vicente Guerrero. And saying we talked about it all night long, man. I mean, we saw Vicente, qualified 4th, so was up front, has the speed, obviously. But man, I say those final restarts, you don't know what's going to be the right lane to go with. Did you and Jack talk at all prior to that restart, saying like, "Hey, I'll stick with you," or was it just one of those things where it's like, "Well, I hope this '83 car stays on my bumper here, and maybe it gives me a chance to get the win here tonight"?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened right there. I didn't talk to Jack, but I just seen, I didn't even know it was Jack. I just seen a yellow car behind me pushing, but after the race, yeah, I think he had maybe a slight chance to go up in the middle, but he stayed with me. That really helped.
Yeah, I know you have some teammates in the race here, and obviously prior to the yellow there, you guys pretty much, it looked like it was going to be between about, I think, 12 or I think it was 11 or 12 of you that were in the lead pack there for the leaders. Did you have any game plan prior to that yellow if things went all the way to the white flag there, and then of course at that point all bets are off? But did you have any teammates in that pack with you that you were kind of planning on trying to team up with there?
Yeah, I had Cody and BK. BK was a lap down. So, but he was going to help us out, and pretty much before that caution came out, we had talked about strategy. We were going to hook up and either the outside or whatever, and try to win this thing. But caution came out, and BK got his lap back. But and then I talked to Cody, and he was going to see if he could control that middle lane, and I would control that bottom lane. And at least that'll give us both each other a chance to possibly win this race. So it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, as like you said, yeah, you getting the win. Cody looks like got a top 5 here tonight. And I'm saying honestly, I mean, getting that late lucky dog. As I was looking at the running order, looks like BK made it all the way up to 16th after that big wreck off of 3 and 4. So, as a team result, pretty good for you guys there as well. So, yeah, just really good result for you and the team. I say we're definitely talking about Cody plenty as well during the race. You guys were definitely showing the power throughout the course of it. Like I said, BK some bad luck there, unfortunately, but. Yeah, just awesome job tonight. I say not 100% sure, so I don't have the stats on me, but I'll have to have you be my clarification. But whether or not is this your first one here with Area 51, or have you had one before that I'm blanking on?
Broadcasted. I think this is my first. I think I might have had another win, but it was just a fun race or a money race or something like that.
Yeah, Matt has me as a person. I love first-time winners. You know this guy, Al. I think is that our second or third first-time winner?
I think this. Yeah. So let's say just pull up the numbers here. So yeah. So this is So official race. Let's say broadcasted or like I said, not a fun money race, things like that. Yeah. This is indeed your first Area 51 win. So yeah, that's I think 2 in a row now, Matt, as well. So
wow.
Yeah. Congrats
awesome.
there as well, Vicente. So again, you're making us look bad, man, because this one for you only 32 starts in, get in the first win. So
that's good.
You're making me look bad. That's okay.
It's all right.
No, I mean, awesome job though, man, getting the win. Say before we let you go though, of course, definitely want to give you the floor. So I say definitely see some sponsors on the hood and the side and the back panel of that car. So definitely anybody you want to thank and give a shout out to for the win here tonight.
Well, definitely where I work is JM Equipment. I put them as the primary sponsor. I mean, they're pretty much sponsoring me because I get a paycheck from them. So I just like to represent them. That's why I put on a paint scheme. And then I'd like to thank my teammates, Cody and BK. They helped out a lot tonight. That was it.
All right, man. Congrats again. Yeah, just say watching the burnout here in slow mo as we talk to you. So yeah, awesome job though, man. Enjoy this one for sure. And I look forward to definitely seeing more of you over the course of the season. I say now you got the win out of your hair. Now set your mindset to see if you can go for that championship.
Yeah, for sure.
Win number 2 next week, right?
Oh yeah. Guaranteed.
Let's do it. What do you mean? You ran? Okay, I'm really going to break this down for you. Every time I've been up in this booth broadcasting with Gael, I've always mentioned your name. You know why? Because you've been running up front every week. Don't worry, you'll get double wins.
I hope so. Just I gotta stay lucky. I mean, be in the right place at the right time, and having teammates around us.
It's having teammates in here with great communication always gets the job done. So until then, enjoyed it. Congrats on the win.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, awesome job, Cynthia. Yeah, definitely enjoy this one. Look forward to seeing you in the future races, man.
Yep.
All right, Matt. That is our race winner in that number 14 of Vicente Guerrero. As I definitely, just going to completely, I think, use that engine up at the start-finish line here. But, man, I mean, once again, to say a wild one here tonight. And it felt crazier than it was, but let's say only the 3 yellows for 10 laps here tonight. So overall, I mean, honestly, a really, really clean race tonight. So got a green flag pit stop in. So just that late yellow bunched everybody back up. And at that point, I mean, Talladega race like that, all bets are going to be off there.
Yeah, I was talking to the Seth after the race. He kind of felt bad for that. And he apologizes for that, blowing his motor up at the end. But as you know, Gael, it's 1 to go. All bets are off.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I mean, when you've got races like this, I mean, at the last lap, you're going to go for everything, whether or not your oil, your water lights, they're flashing. You pretty much don't even pay attention to them. You're just watching that car in front of you. So, I mean, we saw, and actually, I mean, tonight we had 2 engines blow up this evening. So, another thing to maybe keep an eye out for future races. They maybe don't know if anything changed on the tape change or things like that. So, just things that drivers might have to be more aware of if anything changed over the course of that season. So,
Yeah, we'll look for Sebastian Marin to bounce back next week. We always see him near the front, and he always is a contender to win each time we go into these super speedway races.
Yeah, I mean, you of course you expect to see kind of the usual suspects up front at some point in the race or the season, of course. So yeah, I mean, it'd be no surprise to see him up front. But like you said, though, I mean, And it isn't like Vicente hasn't been up front. That's what's cool about it too. Is he's been up front. He's been challenging. It's just like you said, it's a really, really difficult thing to be able to win these because, like you said, you got to put yourself in the right place at the right time. And ideally, you've got some teammates or just somebody who's willing to work with you at the end. And so he didn't have a teammate tonight, but he had Jack Walls behind, and that was everything he needed there to get that win tonight.
Yeah, I think you need to send Jack Walls like a gift card.
Yeah, so I mean, and as like you're saying, I think Jack just sound pretty overall happy just getting the result tonight as well. So you never know how these races are going to turn out. So, of course, as always, though, everybody watching, thank you so much for supporting us here at Green White Checker TV. It makes it so much fun to be able to kind of do this, know people, have some people watching, their friends, family, and as they cheering everybody on. So. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Let's say you got Brian Anderson chiming in here as well, congratulating Vicente as well. So, let's say honestly, if it wasn't for the viewers and people watching, this probably wouldn't be happening. So, let's say it means a ton for us to have that support as well. So, keep it up. Let's say keep watching because that's going to just help Area 51 grow more and more. Hopefully, Green White Checker TV as well. Matt, always a pleasure having you. To say. We had to put up with each other for almost 24 hours over the weekend, but what's another couple hours and we'll just watch and have some fun.
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about those 24 hours, guys. That's a long story.
Yeah, maybe for another time, but we will be back again on Tuesday night here at Green White Checker TV for the Indy Series, and of course Thursday as well for the Super Speedway Truck Series. However, Next Gen will be back tomorrow on Max Speed TV. So if you're enjoying those Next Gen cars, if you want to race, check them out at area51iracing.com, or if you just want to kind of watch, support your friends, family, whoever it may be, you can find them on Max Speed TV as well. So thank everybody so much for watching, for supporting. We'll be back again on Tuesday. Until then, though, have a wonderful evening. Stay safe and take care. Have a good night, all.
Have a good night, guys. See you at New Hampshire.